Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Melanie Menudo. My presentation is a case study of two experts speaking on the effects of PTSD on abusive relationship survivors. The date is July 24th, 2014, and this is for the class of Psychology 496. Abusive relationships can lead to a PTSD diagnosis years after the end of the relationship. PTSD changes how a person understands fear. Suddenly everything becomes a threat. Abusive relationships are not a rare occurrence. More and more people are being diagnosed with PTSD without ever even being enlisted in wartime armed services. This is creating a new form of PTSD that is called PTRS, otherwise known as post-traumatic relationship syndrome. Those that have all the markings of PTSD without all of the wartime services are being misdiagnosed. How can we create a better understanding of PTSD to support those who have never been in a war? Why is it that there is still a stigma attached to receiving a PTSD diagnosis due to abuse? And now introducing our experts, Jonathan Granger, psychology doctorate, specializing in abusive relationships, Gemma Dravitsky, psychology doctorate, counselor specializing in veterans and active military. Jonathan Granger also has a double minor in sociology and social work. Growing up in a physically and emotionally abusive home, Granger has decided to put all of his efforts towards making life better for those that are strong enough to leave abusive relationships that he was unable to do. Gemma Dravitsky is a veteran of Afghanistan War. Dravitsky feels the effects of PTSD from those around her and herself, and decided to turn all of her attention to aiding as many veterans dealing with the symptoms of PTSD as possible. Her doctorate thesis was written on the effects of PTSD and all of the possible cures. Dr. Granger will fight to prove that PTSD can be a result of abusive relationships. He has met many that fit all the criteria, including himself. Post-traumatic stress disorder, related to childhood abuse, is associated with features that affect regulation, interpersonal disturbances that substantially contribute to impairment. He has decided to post the National Institute of Mental Health to help anybody who's looking for information based on this topic. Dr. Gemma Dravitsky feels that the focus of PTSD should be on veterans and active military. Those outside the military should be diagnosed with PTRS, aka post-traumatic relationship syndrome. War is one of the most potent traumatic experiences known to man. The most common psychiatric disorder resulting from war-related trauma is post-traumatic stress disorder. Therefore, it should be based only on actual wartime. To aid with this information, she has decided to post the PTSD actual government page. Dr. Granger feels that trauma catalyst is universal. PTSD and PTRS should be interchangeable as the symptoms are. Understanding is paramount as far as both situations. Dr. Dravitsky feels that military service causes PTSD. PTSD is completely different from PTRS. General stress does not cause PTSD. Both doctors, however, feel that PTSD is a fear-based disorder that feeds on extreme situations, which means that PTSD could come from other sources as well. Thank you everybody for your time. I hope that you enjoyed my presentation.